Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this GRAITEC webinar. In this session, we'll be taking a look at what's new in Advanced Workshop Steel for 2025. My name is Tommy Moussis. I'm a technical solution architect with over 10 years of experience in teaching and implementing software and hardware solutions for the AEC industry. In this session, we're going to be mainly taking a look at what's new in Advanced Workshop for 2025. But before we do that, we're going to have a quick introduction to Advanced Workshop Steel, considering it's a relatively new product in the GRAITEC Fabricate portfolio. And then towards the end of the session, we're just going to be taking a look at how or where you can find more information on GRAITEC Advanced Workshop. So let's take a quick look at GRAITEC Advanced Workshop Steel. In short, Advanced Workshop is an MIS. It's a management information system. It is a multi-architecture solution, which means you can have multiple company profiles, multiple factories, and warehouses linking to a single database. We can manage multiple units, languages, and currencies within the platform. And it's really meant to manage all actions within a steel fabrication business. So when looking at supply chain management, we can manage the sales process, creating quotes, credit control, invoicing, job sites, managing extras attributed to projects, change orders, etc. In the technical office, the key variable here is BIM integration, so we can import metadata from CAD solutions such as Autodesk Advanced Steel. And we can even have real-time monitoring and traceability in the workshop. This is with the addition of hardware. So we have applications that sit on top of PDAs and tablets, and we can really track all actions at each workstation and in the shipping department. And for stock management as well, we can integrate barcodes to track your stock levels. For technology integration, of course, we can import data from Autodesk solutions as well as GRAITEC solutions, and we are using SQL for our database. And with integration, we can essentially create interfaces for any accounting solution on the market. It really just depends on what you want. But for reference in integrations that we've done in passing, we've created interfaces to export data to platforms like or software solutions like Sage, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, etc. So regarding data structure in Advanced Workshop, in short, you would start by creating your customer profiles. So we do have a CRM portion of the software, if you will, where you can create your customer profiles and input all the data, main contacts, addresses, credit information, etc. To the company, and then you would then go on to create your job site, where then you can link multiple quotes or customer orders to a single job site. We can also import the BIM files from CAD solutions like Autodesk Advanced Steel, and then we can manage the structural elements within our platform. What I mean by managing structural elements is that we can, of course, import that data from a CAD system, and then after manage the bill of materials to see what materials we have in stock, raw materials we have in stock to manage the assemblies. We can then attribute operations to each assembly to then see the theoretical time it will take to actually fabricate said assembly, and a theoretical cost as well by attributing times and costs per operation. From there, we can then segregate the project in by phases or by lots into fabrication orders for production. We even have the ability to export data or drive data to the shop. We can export NC files or DSTV data that is conformed to the machine-specific needs. So once again, here to manage the elements, of course, you would need to verify if you have the raw material in stock to produce the assemblies. If not, then we have a nesting module where then you'd be able to verify how many bars are required for the entirety of the fabrication order, or plates for the entirety of the fabrication order, and then procure the material. In the latest release in 2025, you can actually manage this on multiple fabrication orders at the same time, meaning you can nest each individual fabrication order, but then after group them all together for one single purchase. And in addition, we can once again drive NC data to the shop and have these linked to touch boxes, and we can even create delivery notes. So here, why we call it an MIS, or a management information system, is because it actually manages quite a few different parts of your business. It's not just an ERP. We do have MRP functionality and even MES functionality, manufacturing execution system functionality that is truly tailored for steel fabrication businesses. In short, this will enable you to have full control of your production by either manual or automated methods. So it is not necessary to implement PDAs and tablets in your workshop. Everything can be managed within the platform itself. But it will nonetheless give you control of production and help you with scheduling and planning and tasks of this type. We give you theoretical times for your projects and workload calculations. Can manage your stock inventory. It'll be much easier then afterwards to have a post-production analysis or post-mortem on your project to see how much time was truly spent versus the what was forecasted in the estimation process. Once again, it'll help you with production planning, and we do have a link with Autodesk Advanced Steel, which will facilitate compiling information into customer orders. So now, looking at the key business benefits, we provide a solution that will help you receive information from CAD solutions such as Autodesk Advanced Steel. We help keep track of all actions throughout the entirety of the project within one single platform, and we help businesses ensure on-time delivery of their products. Now, let's take a look at what's new in 2025. So there's many features that have been added in this 2025 release, as you can see here. For more information regarding what's new in 2025, we encourage you to download our user guide for what's new in 2025, or what's new guide for 2025, I should say. But in this session, we're going to take a look at 5 of the key features that have been added. In some of these videos, I'll be able to highlight some of the other new features that we've listed here, but we'll go through 5 of the main features once again. So here we're going to be taking a look at adding steel plates manually. So now in this 2025 release, you're going to be able to detail plates directly in quotes and or customer orders. So the benefit here, especially if you're a service center, you're going to be able to use our CAD editor to edit any plates that have been imported into a customer order, but you're also going to be able to detail plates directly into our platform without needing to import any data whatsoever. So this is a nice solution to, once again, to make quick modifications to files that have been received, NC files that have been received to your business. And if you need to bypass the design department for whatever reason, let's say if an assembly is already on the shop floor and you want to make a quick change or add a plate to the customer order, this is a nice tool for that. Of course, if there's any major changes any major change orders that were done to a steel project, you want to go by the design department because it can impact the part marks and quantity counts for components, etc. But for quick additions like shim plates and things of that type to a project, it's really a nice tool to facilitate adding those sorts of additional elements. So once again, the benefit is that you're going to be able to detail plates directly into our platform without needing to import data from solutions like Autodesk Advanced Steel. And the interface is using the same interface as we've previously introduced with our detailing solution. So historically, you were only able to detail beams. And now using the same dialog, you're going to be able to detail plates as well. So here we're going to go ahead and create a customer order. We already have one created here. I'm just going to go to the items tab and then import a GTCX file, excuse me. Once selected and imported, I'll just go ahead and select one component, one plate to import. Now from here, once an item is imported, we can edit it with the CAD editor or the steel editor. In addition, if I wanted to add an additional plate, I could just use add steel parts manually. And now here you'll notice two tabs, one for profiles and one for plates. And here, if you would like you could select your topology. So we have a few different shapes here to select from, but just be mindful that once you've applied your plate, you can continue. You can further edit your plate in our CAD editor solution. So here, once the plate is selected, you would then apply your part mark information. So, of course, the assembly mark and attached part mark, you would define the role of the item and then select the item code for material consumption. And then here you would select your material grade, coding, and quantity count. Depending on the topology selected, it will then activate the cells necessary to modify the dimensions. Now here for this example, I'll select a slightly more complex shape. Add in the assembly and part mark references, change the role of the item, and select another item code. Now here I'll just define the dimensions for the outer contour of the plate. And you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner that now we have a preview that'll display the modifications made as I edit. So here we can see that it's modifying in real time. And now we'll also notice that in the upper right-hand corner, we'll see the operations applied. For here, we can also view the log file for the assignment tree. So if ever you're trying to apply an operation that is not allowable in your shop, of course, we can configure it to subcontract the part component automatically. But in the log file, you'll be able to see in the upfront which workstations are going to manage these components. So now if required, I can go back and edit the steel components as well. So this is the item that we've imported. Historically, from an item that was imported, you weren't able to edit the plates, but now in this new release, you are able to go and make modifications. So here in this case, I've deleted the holes. And if I would like, I can go ahead and add in additional holes and change the locations of those items. Here, I'll just define the distance. And then here I can select the origin of the dimensions in X and Y. So here I'm going to use a corner point bottom left hand reference. And now I'm just going to adjust the parameters accordingly. Once that's done, I can validate and then save the changes. Next, we'll be taking a look at subcontracting. So what's new in subcontracting is that now we can subcontract not only the entirety of the component, but individual operations and coatings as well. So now, once again, in this new release, we can subcontract operations. Historically, we were only able to subcontract the entirety of the assembly, or if it was a standalone part, the individual component. Now you can subcontract specific operations related to items. In addition to that, we can edit the production assignment tree to automatically subcontract certain types of operations, whether it be to plates or bar elements, or whether it be just a simple operation like drilling. Every time there's a hole that needs to be cut on a plate, we can subcontract it automatically. And the benefit, of course, is that now you don't have to go in and edit this information through the supplier order menu. And you can truly just subcontract manually throughout the entire process, or automatically upon import, and then manually throughout the other steps. Let's take a look. So here, once again, I'm going to start by importing data into a customer order. I'll go here to the Items tab and click on 3D Steel Import. Once I select my file and click on Open, here now I'll point out that here we can also import by phase. So now this is a standard with the import UI. If there's a phase applied to your model, you would automatically see the phase. And then from here, we'll notice that certain parts are in yellow versus green, meaning there's a part component that needs to be subcontracted due to the fact that it has a specific operation that we've already predefined to be subcontracted every time. In this case, the drilling of the holes for the plates. So here, if I process my root requirement analysis, I'll see here that drilling needs to be subcontracted for this for the bar element, excuse me. And now if I click on follow up to view the status, I'll notice here that it has changed the status of the element, and I can see that it needs to be subcontracted. So here I'll go ahead and create my fabrication order. And we'll see here that we have the 2 fabrication orders listed there with the assemblies that we just loaded. So from here, knowing that these items need to be subcontracted, I can validate the fabrication order. And here I'm just going to highlight that if I wanted to manually check the status, okay, this is the menu where you typically would manually update your fabrication order to suggest that all has been fabricated. The items will not be visible. This is due to the fact that now they have been subcontracted. Consequently, we'll use the launching on customer order menu to view the items and to check the status. So here we'll see the items from the fabrication order that are to be subcontracted. Now, from here, we'll go to our supplier orders menu. I'll select the supplier. And then from here, you can select our warehouse, and then we'll save the supplier order before selecting operations. So once you select operations, you're going to be when clicking on fabrication orders, it's going to show you the items that have operations to be subcontracted in this menu. If you wanted to, you can also consolidate multiple items from other fabrication orders to be subcontracted at the same time. Meaning, if you had multiple projects going on at the same time and many items in each fabrication order need to be subcontracted, you could select the entire list and consolidate them all within one single supplier order. Now, in theory, of course, this would take a few days to complete, but here we're just going to suggest that now these items have been completed, and we're going to go ahead and balance the supplier order. Once I validate and it is balanced, I can then return to the manufacturing production planning menu. Here, we're going to update the menu to see the changes made. And now if I were to right click and go into manual checking, we will then see the items received. So here we could select them, update the order to suggest that it's been completed. But first, before doing that, we should validate that the items have been received from subcontracting. Once that's done, now I can truly manually check the status to say they have been received, and we can suggest that production is complete. Now we'll see the status. That is partially produced, mainly due to the fact that there was galvanization required on the items, so we would have had to sub them out for galvanization. Moving on to the next subject in what's new for 2025, we'll take a look at the galvanization and coating management enhancements that have been made. So now in this latest release, we are able to factor in the costs for coating and galvanization automatically upon import. What this means is based off the surface area of the assemblies, we're able to calculate the cost for paint. And based off the weight of assemblies, we're able to calculate the cost of galvanization. Of course, you would have to predefine these costs within the item codes themselves. But now upon import for quotes and for customer orders, we're able to calculate this. So, of course, the benefit is that it's going to compile this information automatically without the requirement of having to do any manual calculations for your quotes. So here, what we'll do is open a quote. I'll go to the items menu, and we're to import once again a 3D steel model. Here, I'll go ahead and select a few assemblies. And we'll define here the final coating. So, of course, in advanced steel, there can be no coating applied, or you can set everything to galvanized. But here, what you'd want to do is select the specific paint SKU. If something is galvanized, again, you would just suggest that the final coating is galvanized. But if there is a specific paint applied in advanced steel, you'd want to mimic the same paint. Now, if we go to pricing requirement analysis, here we'll see that galvanization and paint, they'll be displayed as accessories. Okay, so within an assembly that's just galvanized, you'll just see it under the item under the accessories tab, excuse me, but paint will actually be displayed underneath like so. And you'll see the cost attributed just for the paint. Now, of course, this would be dependent on the paint SKU utilized or the item code utilized. So here I'll just go to the paint item code. And here we have to be mindful that under the item, you'd want to have these parameters for kept in stock, no supplier type, supplier, and here under the under the units, you'd want everything to be set to square foot or everything to be uniform. Now here I'll search for the galvanized item code. And here, once again, you want the item nature to be set to accessory. This applies for both paint and galvanization, just to be clear. And then under the units, you'd want everything to be set to pound. The price, of course, you're going to adjust according to your supplier's price. Now, if we take a look at the manufacturing sequences, here we'll see that in our manufacturing sequences for steel connection parts and steel connection plates, this is the features that group together raw material items and operations. We've added the additional components for galvanization and paint. So now once our import mechanism reads that there's a coating applied, and we're using those SKUs for paint or galv, it'll then compile the additional costs. If no coating is applied in advanced steel, it will not execute the function. And in addition, another new feature that we're highlighting here is that you are able to now group together items for your proposals. Meaning if you, for your quotes, if you would like to just present one phase of project and have a total price compiled, as opposed to showing each individual assembly and part component or line item within Advanced Workshop in your proposal, you can now use the grouping feature to consolidate everything and then write out your own description and item code for said item. So here we're applying a grouping for the finishings, and here another grouping for the main structure, which would then group together all the assemblies in main structure and then the finishings, of course, under finishings. Now here I'm just going to give an example of creating the quotes. Here we could select our specific report template. And here, of course, the description can be longer and the cell can be larger, to be clear. But here we can see now the item code is main structure and the other item code is finishing, and the description was used there. Next, we'll take a look at grouping multiple fabrication orders to a single supplier order. So the purpose of this feature is simple. It's to enable Advanced Workshop Steel users to not only group one fabrication order at a time to a supplier order. Now, once the nesting has been done on multiple fabrication orders, you can choose to separate your supplier orders per project, or if you will, compile multiple nests from different fabrication orders into one single supplier order. And the benefit ultimately is to save time and of course, not bombard your suppliers with many different supplier orders, in short. Now here we're going to go over to the manufacturing production planning menu, where I've already nested the items within the two fabrication orders below. Now here we're going to go to supplier order. We're going to go to the items. And now, after clicking on Restart, when selecting on a fabrication launch, we will now see a new menu, a new dialog appear where you can select start and end dates for specific fabrication orders, but all will be displayed within the filter selected. And now you can pick and choose which fabrication order you would like to consolidate within this one supplier order. Once I click on OK, here now it's going to show me all items within each fabrication order. Excuse me. And now I can choose to select the entirety of the order if I wish, or individual components. For example, if there was hardware that would be ordering from another supplier and the raw material items from this supplier, I can pick and choose which one would be consolidated within the fabrication or supplier order, excuse me. Now we'll look at the direct item NC link feature. So this feature, this new feature for 2025 will now allow you to attach an NC file or a DSTV file directly to an item code, which then enables you to do many things. So, for example, if you manage some stock items or you have standard part components, I'll use a clip angle, for example. If you have standard clip angle connections that you produce at a high frequency, perhaps you keep stock of clip angles, and whenever there's downtime in your workshop, you decide to produce a run of these clip angles to have them on standby for your next project. What you'll now be able to do is create item codes for the standard part components and directly link the NC file for that standard part item to the item code, which will then enable you to launch stock orders without the need to import data from solutions like Autodesk Advanced Steel every single time you wanted to replenish stock. So the benefit, in short, is to be able to manage your stock levels of standard part components with ease. So in the example, we're going to be ordering for stock. So we're going to be using the order for stock menu. And once again, we're going to be using the clip angle as the example here. Once the order is created, before actually linking the items, we're going to take the time to explain how the item codes need to be structured. So here I have three item codes available. I have one for the standard part item, one item code for the raw material item, the full bar length, and I have another item code that has the manufacturing sequence for stock ordering. Now, here we're to see that this is the standard part item. So it's a steel range item, but the key difference here is that under technical notes, now we have where we can apply the working file, which is the NC or DSTV file. Here in this next item code, we're to see this is the raw material item, which is going to be the full section length. And here we'll see once again that there's no manufacturing sequence applied. Really, the key here to this new feature is that we have another item code with a manufacturing sequence. So here we're just going to go over to the Others tab to see that there is a manufacturing sequence applied. And this one is specific, again, for ordering for stock. And now what this is going to enable you to do in the ordering for stock menu is group items together. So raw material items and the standard part items that contain the NC files. So for here now, what I'm going to do here is then select the item code that has the manufacturing sequence embedded into it, which will now enable me to group multiple items together once I click on Process Root Calculation of Item. So here we're to search for the item with the manufacturing sequence. We're to select that this is an accessory that's going to be created. So these are the individual clip angles. So these are going to be created off of the raw material item, the full bar length. And now I'm going to go ahead and select the full length item code. So here I'm going to specify that it's an accessory once again. And I'm going to leave it as the item to be consumed. Now here we'll see the quantity of the clip angles is still at 20, but we've applied a quantity of 15. So once the order is actually created, we will then see the quantity change to 35. Now here we can create a fabrication order. but it's actually going to be appearing in launch on the customer order menu for the status. You're going to see it here in your manufacturing production planning menu. But the key thing here is that you're going to need to change your order type from customer order to a stock order. And here we're to select the job site, the appropriate job site file, of course. So now we're to select that it's a stock order file, and now we'll see it displayed here. In order to validate and suggest that the stock order has been completed, here within this menu launching on customer order, you're then going to be able to see the restock item. From here, you can then manually check that everything is up to date and okay on the quantity. So here I'm just going to manually update and suggest that this order is now complete. We'll see that it is balanced. The status has changed. And now we'll see that the stock once updating is going to be 35 as opposed to 20. So these were just a few items of what is new in Advanced Workshop Steel 2025. And if you'd like to learn more, you can visit our website, and you can also request a discovery call with your local GRAITEC representative. And of course, to learn all the new features of what's new in Advanced Workshop 2025, you can download our What's New guide for 2025 on our website. Thank you very much for joining this webinar.